Howdy folks, my name is Ty and today we're just going to be doing a quick review of the AirPods Pro. It's been just under 6 months by this point since they've released, and I've had them since just after they came out, I think it was. So I'm going to do a quick review just to explain my thoughts on them, whether you should buy them, and just overall performance and everything of the AirPods. So when I first tried these on, it was the most mind-blowing experience when it comes to headphones I've ever had. I put them on and the whole transparency mode was on, and then noise cancelling and everything, and it is pretty cool to be able to have both those things in a set of headphones. And I know they're not the only headphones like that, but it was definitely cool to try them out as soon as they did come out. And from there, I use them everywhere. I still use them everywhere. They're my main set of earbuds. I use them at work, I use them when I'm traveling, I use them when I'm just chilling at home. The sound quality is pretty decent actually, because a lot of people bash AirPods or the original AirPods because sound quality wasn't exactly the best. There wasn't very much bass, there wasn't good sound quality. They were good enough if you weren't really an audiophile or you didn't really care about sound, or specifically really good sound. They were just for casual people who don't really care. But with these AirPods, they've improved everything, and that's for sure. I've definitely seen over the past 5 to 6 months, they are really good. And compared to the last gen, they're definitely very good. The whole sound is just, it's nice and crisp. The bass is good. Nothing's overpowering. And maybe it's just me, but it's perfect balance through everything, I find. And even normally when you turn volume down, you can't hear things as well, which is, you turn the volume down. That's pretty self-explanatory as to why you're not hearing everything as well. But with these AirPods, I don't find that with a lot of headphones, but when I turn them down, you can still hear it, but you can still hear every little detail. You can still hear the bass, you can still hear a guitar playing, you can still hear, every little detail of the song. And I think that's pretty cool, because most of the time when you turn it down, you can only hear certain frequencies. But with this, most frequencies are still there when you turn the volume down really low. So when I first got these things, I was blown away. I loved them, and they were going to be my only pair of headphones. I was like, these are mine until they die. And they still are. I mean, I'm not going to go out and spend more money on headphones, especially given how expensive these were. But they're good, they're convenient. If you have them in transparency mode at work, I use them at work all the time, I can hear everybody without having to take them out. I can still listen to stuff while I'm talking to people, and it's not an issue. I walked into a large room once and had music quietly playing while it was on transparency mode, and I genuinely thought that the music was coming from the speakers in this building, because just the sound that comes out of it, it's you can hear everything, people talking, people doing stuff, but then also you can hear the music. So it's a pretty surreal experience when you first start using it, and once you get used to it, it becomes less novel, but at the same time it just becomes more handy and convenient. At first, noise cancelling also was amazing. It was awesome. At first, and I'll get to the point where I keep saying at first because it has changed since then. At first it was amazing. Noise cancelling might not have been on par with some over-ear headphones, and which you won't, because over-ear headphones are just generally going to have the advantage of in-ear headphones for noise cancelling, but these were pretty close, and these were close enough for me to be super impressed. But here's the thing, they were good at first, and they were good for about a month and a half-ish, but then things started to go downhill. Alright, let me explain. So basically, with the AirPods, they do get software updates, and now you don't get them as an alert or a notification just like you would with the normal software update for your phone. It does it automatically. So whenever you hook up your headphones to your phone, it will check in the background if there's a new update for your AirPods, and once you're not using them, once they're in the case charging, it'll update them automatically. Now, after they released, there was a few updates for the AirPods. So there was the initial release update, there was the next software that was added, which slightly added some bugs, but then it slightly affected the noise cancelling and transparency a little bit. Then there was a third update, and now this update has since been retracted from later models, but the thing is, from the early models, if you got it between a certain amount of time, I'm not exactly sure on when it was, but they had to retract this update because it added connection bugs, sound bugs, all sorts of issues. I've noticed that the noise cancelling has actually decreased in its quality, and it's actually nowhere near as good as what it was. And I have to say, I'm not the only one having this issue. I've looked on Reddit, I've looked on YouTube, and there's been multiple videos and posts talking about how people are having this issue with their AirPods connection issues. One of them is like buzzing, or like there's like a static thing going on. So basically in January or February, I think it was the end of January, I ended up actually having to replace my right AirPod, because the microphone, whenever I'd use transparency mode or noise cancelling, the microphone would almost like make a buzzing, and it would be like distorted, and it would affect my listening. It was really, really weird. I didn't get it. And then I didn't think much of it, because I was like, oh, well, I must have like done something to them, must have dropped them. I did drop them, but I dropped the left AirPod, not the right one. So I was a little bit confused as to why the right one was playing up. But then I saw a video on YouTube, Daily Tech. I'll leave the link in the description for that channel. He had the exact same issue as me, and I was like, oh, I'm not the only one. How's this work? And then he said, well, I had to look online, and I was like, oh, okay. So I looked on Reddit, and there's like 100 people who are having the same issue. And this guy basically had to order a new AirPod from Apple. Like, the right one had to be replaced. And I was like, oh, are you serious? I have to get it replaced? Like, how much is that? Luckily, there's a warranty, covers you for a year without having to pay for Apple Care. So I took my AirPods in, and I got the right one replaced. They said there was nothing wrong with it from the diagnostic check, but I was like, obviously there's something wrong with it. And they said, we haven't heard of any of these issues, but I guess, you know, you got the warranty so you can get a new one. I was like, okay. So I ended up having to go through the process of pairing a new AirPod with the case and everything. But now, since then, the buzzing has come and gone. So now I know that it's a software thing. But then also, the right AirPod won't charge without me fiddling for like half an hour. So whenever I put my AirPod in to the charging slot, the right charging slot, it will not charge properly sometimes, and I have to either push it in a certain angle or push it down with my finger before I close the lid, or I have to literally put it up and drop it into the case just so it sits in that perfect spot where it charges. Left one has no issues. The left one's fine. Me and the left, we're best friends, but the right one for some reason just doesn't want to charge. So yeah, I'll go to use my AirPods, and then all of a sudden my right one will not be doing anything. No sounds, it won't be pairing. So that's the issues that I'm having. I mean, it's one of those things. I'm gonna, as soon as the whole outbreak thing has settled down and Apple stores are open again, I'm gonna go into an Apple store and talk to them about it, because it's kind of annoying. I mean, I paid like $370 for these, and I'm like, that's a lot of money. I don't want to have issues with them for that much money. And then there's the same thing with the connection issues. You try and connect them, they won't connect properly. The other day, they didn't even make a tone when I tried connecting to the phone, and then it didn't even let me change it from transparency or from noise cancelling to transparency mode. I couldn't even do it manually from my phone, and I don't know what happened there. If you were to buy a brand new pair now, you probably wouldn't have an issue with all of these things, because of the fact that they retracted that update, and the bad software, the bugs and everything won't be included with your new set of AirPods. Whereas if you're someone who's had them since they first came out, apologies, but you're probably going to have to put up with them until they release a new update. Now, I'm glad I didn't make this video when I was actually having these issues the other day, because I had a bad day with them a couple days ago, and I was getting really annoyed. Because if I was to say, would I buy them again, or would I recommend them, I'd say no. I would say no because I was in a rage. But I'm going to say I do recommend them, but for specific people. If you're just anyone who doesn't care about good sound or noise cancelling or transparency, and you just want a good set of headphones, don't spend the money. Don't spend almost $400 on headphones. It is not worth it if you are happy with most headphones. If you are someone who likes transparency, thinks it's handy for work or for other things, noise cancelling, you want it as well, because of the fact that, you know, some people in your house, you just want to get some work done, and, you know, you don't want to hear anybody else. For those people who are in the Apple ecosystem, and even for those people who aren't, I do recommend them for those people, because the sound quality is great. It's a nice broad soundstage. Not the best I've heard, but see, AirPods Pro are a package. It doesn't do everything perfectly and everything the best, but it does everything in one package that most other headphones, they won't have every one of these features. So if you're one of those people, especially if you're in the Apple ecosystem and you care about sound and you want a good set of headphones, I recommend these. I definitely recommend them. For the price, a lot of people might be thinking, oh, I don't want to spend that much money. I have a budget, I can afford them, but I don't know if it's worth spending that much money. To be completely honest with you, I don't think it is worth spending that much money, but I'm an Apple person who will spend that much money, and I wanted a good pair of headphones because my last ones died just before they came out. So I think there are other options for cheaper if you're looking at cheaper. If you have the money though, and you can afford it, at least go to the Apple store and try them before buying them. That's one thing that I should have done first. I did try them, but only after being told to. Go and try them for yourself and then make a decision. If you have the money and if you're in the Apple ecosystem and you care about all those features of a good set of headphones and convenience for your Apple devices, yes, I'd say definitely consider them, but please try them out beforehand. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hopefully I could help you out in some way, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. I have a new video out every Wednesday, so if you're interested in this type of stuff, whether it be technology or music, please feel free to subscribe. If not, that's okay too. Do what you want, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.